Listen to me. What makes a gazelle is how he's wired. When a lion sees a gazelle and the gazelle sees the lion, both beasts see each other at the exact same time. When the gazelle sees the lion, because of how he's wired, he automatically, fear takes over. When the lion sees a gazelle, he lights up. It's showtime. The hunt is on. This is what I was made for. And if you ever studied a lion in his natural environment, watch this, guys. If an animal is wounded, the lion won't even do what? Right? For real, there's some of you, there are opportunities that you're like, it's too difficult. Nobody can do it. You're not wired properly. A lion welcomes the challenge. As a matter of fact, they don't get excited unless it is a challenge. They're wired differently. The gazelle immediately, when the gazelle immediately sees the lion, the first thing it thinks about is, let's go. First thing the lion does is like, let's eat. So you gotta do me a huge favor. If you're gonna get to a certain level, you gotta welcome it.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Brandon. I'm a 2SPORTATHLETE.
My first impression of Brandon when I met him was very well-mannered, very focused. He was very on task, very diligent with his schoolwork, and I really like that. If I had to choose one word that would describe Brandon Freeman, and one word and why, it would be focused. Very determined, conscientious, sticks to his task, sticks to his word, hardworking, but focused. Like when he sets out for a goal, he's determined to finish that and do it with a spirit of excellence. So,
Brandon is a type of kid that stands out. And the reason I say that, I've been coaching for about 20 years. And there's a handful of kids that have what I would call composure. So if the play, for example, broke down, he just seemed to know what to do, and he gave a calm, solid leadership mode to the rest of the team, so the team knew that they had a good leader. And that's really, all my years of coaching, I could have maybe two handfuls of players that I can remember names that actually have that gift of composure. Something you can't coach, you can't teach it, But if you do discover it in an athlete like Brandon, then as a coach, as a mentor, you can mold it and you can grow it. And I think he's well on his way of doing great things with it.
Brandon is my second child and my only son. Brandon, I would describe as my energetic and very athletic child. But one of the things and qualities I enjoy about Brandon is his determination and willingness to succeed in everything that he does. When I look at him and his sister Raven and their relationship and the dynamic that they have and how unconditionally they, love and play around and joke with each other, I really enjoy that time that they spend with each other. So the transition over the next year is going to be really tough for the two of them as his big sister transitions off to college. But overall, those two, really can't live without each other.
Let me tell you what type of kid Brandon is. Brandon's just a typical boy. He can play outside for hours at a time, and I won't even have to check on him. He loves to play video games. He's great in the classroom. Brandon has straight A's and B's ever since he's been in school. He does his homework, things of that nature. But in addition to that, Brandon he loves to play sport.
I first noticed Brandon's athletic ability at a very young age. My husband here wanted to buy Brandon a basketball hoop at just 18 months. As the years went on, of course, Brandon picked that basketball up and has never put it down since. About 3 years old, I guess I could say, is where he started to really, really shoot on that rack every single day. Brandon picks that ball up every day, and I can tell you, sometimes it's annoying as I don't know what, but to see his progression is just, one of the greatest moments you can have to see with one of your kids. One of my most memorable moments with Brandon, his first year of football. Me being the mother that I am, I'm like, he's too little to go out there and play football. And of course, Steve said, he gonna be all right. And I never forget, in this moment, I will never forget that priceless day when Brandon was running down the field and he was running and scored his first touchdown. My heart dropped, but I was excited and filled with emotion at the same time because he got hurt. But to take that moment back and remember it up till this day, I will never forget that day and how he excelled and got right up and came over and was excited about his first touchdown.
Two of my most memorable moments of Brandon playing sports is his first year playing football. He was playing quarterback in the preseason in the scrimmage. And he took the ball and he ran down the sideline. He stopped, he made a cut, he ran back, and then he scored a touchdown. And I looked at her and I said, "Did you see that?" And right there, I knew Brandon was going to be great. I knew he had something special. And some of the things that Brandon was doing, you can't coach that. The other moment was maybe 3 years later when Brandon was running the ball and a guy a lot bigger than him hit him so hard, he landed on the ground and immediately he did not get up. Initially, when we that moment happened, we were a little nervous, but he got up, he kind of shook it off, and then that moment, let me know that Brandon is a tough kid. To be smaller than the other kids, he shook it off and he got up and he kept going. So those two moments right there really stick out to me for Brandon. The new venture that we have now going on is something that Brandon came up with. Of course, we supported him in it, but we were just having a conversation, and Brandon came up with the idea and said, he wanted to come up with his own, apparel, clothing line. He came up with his own logo. We just brainstormed. The logo that we have now, of course, it didn't start out like that. That's probably the finished product of a bunch of, nights of just, brainstorming with different logos. The future is very bright for Brandon. Whether it's in sports or, whether he excels in the classroom and does something with that, or whether, our little entrepreneur decides to take the business and really run with it, the future is definitely bright for Brandon.
A typical day with Mr. B, that's what I call Brandon, is we get up in the morning, we get ready for school, get his hair calmed down, get his clothes on, and then we walk to the bus stop. Walk to the bus stop, put him on the bus, I come on back home. When he gets over, I go back to the bus stop, pick him up. When I pick him up, first thing we do, we're walking down the road, got no homework? Yeah, Ma, but I might need some help with this, or I might need some help with that, and we get it done. I said, you don't put out this house until you get everything done. In our house is academics number one. That's the family thing. Academic number one, but that two-sport athlete thing, he's right on point with it because he's always been interested in it. He's always been good at it. And he's always played to the fact that this is something I want to do for me. Nobody has pushed him into it. Nobody ever did anything to make him, make him be informed about it, but he's always been about it. And I'm so proud of him, I can't tell you. That's my Mr. B.
I started playing football and basketball when I was 6 years old. I really enjoyed playing those two sports, and because my favorite football team is Detroit Lions and my favorite football player is Odell Beckham Jr. And I don't have a favorite team, so my favorite basketball player is Kevin Durant, who plays for the Golden State Warriors. My dad inspires me because he really pushes me to be the best I can in anything I do, such as sports or school or anything I participate in. When I grow up, I either want to be a basketball or football player, but if I don't get the chance to be in one of those two, I would like to be an engineer.
Both our kids being in sports and athletics in general, as parents, you get involved, you're very supportive of your kids, but it seemed when both our kids got involved that we took on the role of team mom, team dad, and it's exhausting, but just seeing your kids out there and for the love of the sport, it's great to be, I get very excited at the games, and it's just, great to be out there supporting them and letting them know that you're there for them, to support them, not only them, but their teammates as well. Me personally, I get very involved with the kids, and you get a relationship with them, their parents as well, as you're sitting in the stands, and then with me incorporating being a team mom, I've done that since Brandon started playing football, and now with basketball as well as with our daughter. So the feel that you get and the feeling that you get for being around the team and the kids and seeing them grow from playing with your child as playing with Brandon, it's just a great feeling to be able to incorporate it and support the kids in their two sports.
The margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second.
Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Winners win and losers lose. I can't explain it any better than that. I don't know how it happens, but winners win. And if you create a culture of losing, if you keep being a victim, if you keep letting losing happen to you, if you keep letting people do you and treat you any kind of way, it's going to become a culture.
Don't allow your emotions to control you. We are emotional, but you want to begin to discipline your emotion. If you don't discipline and contain your emotions, they will use you.
If tomorrow wasn't promised, what would you give for today? Forget everything else. Forget everything else. Forget that there was any sunlight left. What would you spend today thinking about? Yourself or the man that's beside you? We get one opportunity in life, one chance in life to do whatever you're gonna do, to lay your foundation and to make whatever mark you're gonna make, whatever legacy you're gonna leave your legacy. And it's found through effort. Wins and losses come a dime a dozen. But effort, nobody can judge effort. Because effort is between you and you. Effort ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. So that team that think they're ready to see you, that think what they seen on film, they ain't saw what film shows. Because every day is a new day. Every moment is a new moment. So now you got to go out and show them that I'm a different creature.